Thank you very much to both of you. Very good to see that you are linking labor market information to concrete cases of activation and labor market measures, and also that you make the data transparent. Both things I think that are very important to go beyond the numbers when we're talking about labor market information. So thanks a lot to the panel. I would like to take some questions before we go to the coffee break. Questions to any of the panelists. If you ask a question, please indicate briefly who you are, who you represent, or which institution, and to whom you're directing the question, please.
I'm Asım Keskin, Deputy Director General of İşkur, Turkish Employment Agency. Actually, any panelist can answer, but I would rather direct the question to Kia. It's about, you mentioned many two applications and many other ways of reaching the data. So are those data available to regular citizens and or job seekers, and can they make use of it? How often and how can they do it? And actually, another question is, first a comment. We also use, in the process of collecting the labor market data, we also use our consultants, especially in surveys with employers. We send our consultants to the employers rather than doing it outsourcing or with any other people, because this generates a link. This enables to get in contact and understand them better. So do you also have such surveys where you use the consultants, and how does it, how do you think it would work? Okay, thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Asim, for this question. Who can use our data? Everyone can use our data. So the Excel sheet is on our website. It's public, so everyone can download it. Our apps are in the App Store, or I don't know, the Android version of the App Store. So it's free for download. And there are a lot of people using our statistics. So the press is using it a lot. Politicians are using it a lot. Not only the Ministry of Labor is using it, the Ministry of Economics is using it, and at the moment our data is the base for our law for migration. Our data are the base for nearly everything on the labor market, every decision. And we are at the moment that if this conference would have been in the next year, I would have the chance to give you an overview about the latest development. At the moment we are working on an, I try to translate it as an individualized career navigator. So we want to put all our data, the ones we have for our clients, for job seekers, for employers, and for our counselors together in one IT system. And then you have the possibility for our counselors, but for the job seekers as well, to fill in your region, to fill in your occupation, and then you will have all data available about the content of the occupation, about the salary of the occupation in comparison to other regions, and about the existing training mechanisms in your region, and what would be the added value of having a training in this area. So perhaps next time I can show you this. Our consultants, yes, our consultants are the main source of information we have. So our consultants who are working with our job seekers are putting all the information into our database we are using. And our consultants who are working with the employers are filling in the vacancies we are using. So all the information about the demand of the labor market. So these are the main sources of our statistics, as well of course, the information we are getting from the pension fund.
For using the administrative data, data cleaning is one of the big issues, because the consultant in the field put the wrong data into the systems. So do you have any methodology to screen those data and then correct into the right one. Two, I'm Sang Hyun Lee from Case of Korea, and this question goes to three of you.
When it comes to the information that the consultants put into the system in the Australian context, as I mentioned before, because it's a contracted arrangement, the information that goes in triggers payments. So if you put in information that isn't relevant in terms of triggering payments, and we'll go to a whole other set of issues, so no doubt about making sure the integrity is there. So that's, I suppose, your next question. But in essence, the information that goes in will then not only be used to trigger the payments, but be used to collect the data to then inform the labour market information. To make sure that there's integrity in the data and that people are not falsifying information or saying that they're doing things that they're not otherwise doing, we've got an incredibly sophisticated program assurance framework with heat mapping, risk management profiles, risk rating on providers, because we're 17 years down the track with a fully outsourced system, and it's not been without its lumps and bumps on the way. So that's a very strong element of the contracting framework, but a consequence of that is that it actually strengthens the integrity of the data, not only for payment but also for the risk management. So, yeah.
I think in Saudi Arabia we do something for verifying the information submitted by the job seeker. There is two parts. The personal information, we verified it online with the Ministry of Interior. We have secured data, and we can access it and secure that this social number with this guy, this is his birth date and everything. We can do it with the government instantly, but the problem is with the training and education. So someone is claiming that he's a bachelor degree in something and he has a training and he has. This is maybe we are working on how to make it also automated, and we check monthly on this. This is for the job seeker. For the employers, we do have our data, and each employer they have their own NIN number or ID number with the Ministry of Labor. So also they have access to our data, and they are verified once they are using this ID number.
Just, if you allow me, just a quick addition. Thank you for the question. Regarding the administrative data and survey data, just an example, I mean, in Saudi, and I know in other parts of the world, we do have Central Department of Statistics that collect data through surveys, and their numbers is different than the administrative data that we have. And that's not a problem. But we think this is part of the National Labor Observatory to be able to explain the differences and see ways of why these differences are happening and how it affects the decision. But yes, coming back to your questions, there are differences in the numbers.
Thank you very much for your contribution and for your questions. We're very close to the coffee break, and we'll then come back in an open forum. Let me just summarize with 3 sentences what I heard from this panel and what is maybe something to take then also into the open forum. From the presentations, I learned that it's important not just to collect the data, no matter how complex they are. We have seen a couple of complex setups of how to put the data together. You need to do something with them. You need to interpret the data, and you need to think how the data is actually reflecting the labor market, and then what you can do as an institution to work with that and to change if there are issues on the labor market. So it's about interpreting and making an intelligent approach to data, not just the collection. We learned that it's necessary also to make the data available, so you have to get it out there, not just store it in your institution, but to share it with others, to share it with the stakeholders, to share it with the groups, and to also get reflection back. We also saw that a lot of the labor market data is actually coming from involving people through surveys, for example. And as in many things, or I would say in almost all things probably, that we do in public employment services, we cannot do it alone. We need partners. We need the private world. We need labor market institutes. We need a lot of in-house partnerships to provide a, let's say, comprehensive view of the labor market and also interpret the data and put together the expertise. So I hope you can take something from this panel. I found it very inspiring. Thank you very much, and see you after the coffee break at 10 past 4, so 20 minutes. And please give a big hand to our panelists. Thank you.